Hey all my friends, thanks for joining me as I am going to be cash stuffing for the last week of June. Before I get into that though, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for helping me reach that milestone of 500 subscribers, which I reached a couple of days ago, and I am so thrilled about it. So thanks to all of you for that. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Melita. I am Penny Palette Budgets here on YouTube. I am Penny Palette Studios on Etsy. I do have a budget shop, which is linked in the description, Penny Palette Budgets over on Etsy. And I really appreciate you joining me if this is your first time. And I hope that you find something interesting and maybe a little bit informative on this channel for you. If you're a returning subscriber, again, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for your continued support. A little bit about what I budget for since I'm doing a cash stuffing is I budget to control spending. I am not a zero-based budgeter. What I do and have learned to be more conscientious of is how I spend my disposable income. So the income that is left after bills and everything is paid, I am holding myself more accountable for where I'm spending that money, how I'm spending that money, and making sure that I know where it's going. All right, with that, what I usually do first is I do my wallet for the week. So I'm not going to break tradition with that. I am going to grab my weekly, monthly binder, as well as my wallet. And I get paid bi-weekly. So what I do is I stuff the first week of the pay period into my wallet for spending. I stuff the second week into my weekly, monthly binder. And then at the end of that first week, I take the money from my weekly, monthly binder and I transfer it into my wallet for the second week of the pay period. So that is why I do this like this. It turns out it works really well for me. And I started it probably a few months into when I started budgeting and figured that this was the best method for me. And that's one thing I do want to say. When you're starting out, you may start doing things one way and change because you find it works better for you another way. But that's what budgeting and cash stuffing is about, finding what works for you. All right. So let's get into getting me ready for this week. And I do have my cash planning sheet over to the side that I'm going to be referencing as I do my cash stuffing, as I usually do. And all right, so we're going to start with dining out. And for dining out, first we're going to grab my lunch money, which is two 20s and a 50, 2 20s and a 10 for each week. And then my eating out money, which is $25 per week, is going to be a 20 and a 5 for each week. So between the 2 weeks, I have $75 per week for eating out of some sort. So let's see, that's 20, 40, 60, 75. All right, that one is correct. All right, and then for week 2, I have 20, 40, 60, 75. Okay, next we're gonna go to spending, and I allow myself $25 per week for spending. So I'm gonna put a 20 and a 5 in the first week and a 20 and a 5 in the second week. Oh, these are some pretty good bills. Do I have some bad ones in here? that I should be putting up front. No, they're actually all in pretty good shape. All right, excuse me as I digress. Let me get back to the cash stuffing. So it's 25 in spending for the first week. And then 25 in spending for the second week. All right. So next we'll go to grocery, and grocery is going to get 60s. That is going to be 220s and 210s each week. So 220s there, 220s there. And then 210s. Let me make sure I'm grabbing the worst of them, since they're going to be spent. Okay, so that is 20, 40, 50, 60 for week 1. And then 20, 40, 50, 60 for week 2. And I have to focus on this because this is usually where I mess up. All right, household is going to get 25, and that's 25 for 2 weeks. And usually the 2 weeks, I don't spend more than 25 in a 2-week period on a house. I can't talk. And usually in 2 weeks, I don't spend more than 25 on household stuff. And if I don't spend it in the first week, what am I doing? If I don't spend it in the first week, then it just rolls over to the second week. If I don't spend it in the second week, I unstuff it with whatever else is left in my wallet, and I put it towards savings challenges. I actually have some end of month money to unstuff for savings challenges when I get to that section of this binder. All right, car and gas is going to get 40 for each week, so that's going to be 220s each week. And let me put 20 and 20. All right. Actually, let's put that one. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be 40 for week 1. And then I will need to put some gas in tomorrow, and then 40 for the second week. All right, and then miscellaneous, last category in my wallet, gets $10 each week. So I'm going to grab a 10 for my wallet and grab a 10 for next week. Trying to take a little bit more care in holding my money when I put it in my wallet, and that's going to do it for my wallet. So I'll set this to the side up here and put my 10 in here. All right, and then in holidays, what do I have? See, I have 220s and 210s going into holidays. And I am going to consider Happy Friendship Day fully funded. I've already pulled out 4th of July money in preparation for 4th of July. I have $40 in Happy Friendship Day in August. And we'll do something special for a friend or two. And then my next holiday is Labor Day. So Labor Day is going to get a 20. Halloween, October is going to get a 20. Oh, I should have told you how much I had in Labor Day. So I have 20, 40 in Labor Day. And then now in October, I will have 20, 30 in October. And then November, Thanksgiving, will get a 10. So it will have 20. And finally made it to Christmas. So Christmas is going to get a 10 this week. And what I've been doing is I started out in January and I did the first 3 months. And if I didn't use money, I rolled it over to the next holiday, kept rolling it over to holidays. As I worked through here, as one holiday dropped off, I added another one. So that is how I am finally to the December Christmas envelope. And I got to do some serious focusing on Christmas. All right, so I'm at the end of my weekly monthly binder, and this is where I need to take the cash from the previous weeks in the month and set it aside for savings challenges. So let's see how much I had for the month in total that I'll be putting to savings challenges. Let's see. June was a spendy month. I don't know if it was because of my birthday or it was the end of school, beginning of summer, lots of other things going on. So not a whole lot left out of the wallet each week, but let's see what I do have. I have 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 23. So there's going to be $23 that I will put with my savings challenge money, and that's where that will go. Okay, next I'm going to go into my family binder, which I don't know why I had that at the bottom, since I know I usually do that second. And in the family binder, as always, we will start with the boys, and all the family members are getting their $30. So let's grab a 20 and a 10, and the boys will have 20, 40, 60, 75, 6, 76. All right, I did get all the trackers updated after that unstuffing and the spending that I did. Princess, her envelope got completely demolished in June. We got her some summer things since she's going to camp and doing some activities this summer. She wears a uniform during the school year, so she needed some clothes because she had outgrown summer clothes from last year. All right, so she's going to get 30. So she'll get a 20 and a 10. All right, the baby, he didn't spend any money, but we did move $200 into the bank that he has. So he has 250, 60, and he's going to get 30. So he is going to have 200 in the bank, 20, 50, 70, 80, 90. So he is doing pretty good, that little fella is. All right, the parents are going to get 30. So they will have 50, 70, 85. Oh, I see a bill hanging out of the envelope there. All right, the family is going to get 30. Let's see, 20, 40, 50, 65. So they have 65. I imagine that next I'll be using some of this. I think we've honed in on some vacation plans, which is going to be a very budget-friendly vacation, and I am not upset about that. Holiday meals is going to get 25. And I don't know if I'm going to need any of this for this coming up 4th of July, or what I had in the 4th of July holiday envelope is going to be enough. But in case I do, I'll pull it from holiday meals. But I have 20, 40, 55, 61 in holiday meals. The last holiday I pulled out of here was Memorial Day. All right, travel is going to get 25. So travel has 300 in the bank, and then 20 and 5. And this is short distance travel, small trips, weekend trips. Bucket list also has 300 in the bank and is going to get 25. So bucket list will have $3.25. And these placeholders are the placeholders from my last shop drop that I'm using. And then vacation is not going to get anything. As I mentioned, I think the plans are just about finalized, and I'll be unstuffing vacation because I will not need everything that I saved for it. So I'm not going to stuff any more in it. All right. Next, I'm going to go to my self-care binder. Okay, and in my self-care binder this week, or for the next 2 weeks, I should say, I am going to be starting with self-care, and self-care is going to get 30. So self-care will have a total of 50, 70, 80, 95. All right, clothing is not getting anything this week. I actually cleaned this one out earlier in June for my birthday. I went and bought myself some things, some casual things, because I did need some casual things. I stay in work clothes 5 days out of the week. So it was fun indulging in that. Personal is going to get 25. So personal will have 20, 40, 55, 6, 7, 8, 58. And then beauty is going to get 25. So then beauty will have 50, 70, 90, 110, 115, 120, 120 in beauty. All right, nails is not getting stuff this week. Hair is not getting stuff this week. Medical is not, let's see. I don't know if there's much left in here. Entertainment is not. So I think that is going to be it for this binder for this week. Indulge, nope, Indulge isn't getting anything this week either. All right. And then finally, I will go to my business binder. And in my business binder, let's see, what do I need to stuff for first? So first, I need to stuff for packaging, it looks like. And packaging is going to get 20. Whoops, it's my tracker. So packaging will have 20, 1, 2. And that is correct. All right, and then P.O. Box is fully funded, except I need $2 more because postal rates are going up. I have 120 set aside for it, and with the January or July increase, it will be 122. Postage is not getting anything. Printing is not getting anything. Subscriptions actually needs to get, I need to take this out because subscriptions are coming due. So this is for my Canva, my Creative Fabrica, and my Silhouette, and I have 250, 60. So I'm going to take this out and set this to the side, and then I'll start over for subscriptions for next year. Supplies is going to get $20. So then supplies will have 50, 75, 76. All right. Let's see. Taxes is not getting anything. Website is getting 10. All right. So website will now have 100 in the bank, 50, 70, 80, 95, $195. And I think I'm getting closer, you guys. I might pick that up as a project this summer to get my website up and running. The Etsy fees are just really outrageous. I was looking at my statement and it's like almost half of what you make is taken in fees. All right. Oh, my stomach's growling. That's funny. I was watching, I can't remember whose it was, but I was watching somebody's video earlier today. I think it might have been Cash Up with Grace, and her stomach was growling, and she was saying that her stomach doesn't growl until she gets on camera. Okay, so I think the last thing I have is I got to go back because I got to put 30 in printing, and this should do it for printing. This should be fully funded, actually. I still don't need the cartridges yet, though. Let's see, that's 20, 30 added. So I have 100 in the bank, and then I have 150, 70, 80, 95, 195. And I was looking at the cartridges, and this is more than enough for the cartridges for my printer. I have an HP Smart Tank 6001. Every chance I get, I tell you guys how great this machine is. I bought it a year ago. Actually, I got the email, my warranty just ran out on it. It's doing fine, but my original cartridges that I had from last year are just a little bit less than half full. So I'd say maybe 40% left in it, and I do a ton of color printing, a ton. This printer was such a great investment. It prints well, it does air print, could not be happier with it. But I am ready whenever it does need new cartridges now, and that will be taken care of with that money that I have in my printing envelope. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks again for the 500 subscribers. Look forward to a great 500 subscriber giveaway. I'm starting to assemble the things already. Also, I'm looking at doing a smaller Etsy shop drop in the beginning of July, so be looking for that. Some Christmas in July savings challenges and a few other new items. And leave me a like. Please leave me a comment. You guys know I respond to every single comment. And if you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thanks again, and I will see you guys next time. You guys have a great week. Bye.